Hey, welcome back to our Achievement Hunter series aimed at pouncing on the Darkmoon Faire gameplay achievements. We've swiped through all the achievements for classes between Hunter and Warrior, and now it's time to claw apart all the Druid achievements. Let's get into it.
This should be interesting.
In today's video, we're covering the following 3 achievements. Rigged, where you guess the weight correctly 10 times. Leave Us Alone, ultimately to summon a whopping 200 Greyboughs, and Sun and Moon to Me, which requires us to cast 6 lunar and solar eclipses in a single game. None of these requires us to win games, so we can take some interesting approaches to completing these. As always, there are timestamps for each achievement and deck codes for each deck mentioned in the description below if you'd like to skip to one you're looking for. Let's get rolling with what's probably the most time-consuming achievement for Druids, Leave Us Alone. As he's the one being summoned 200 times, we obviously need Greybough to complete this one. Much like most of the other legendary minions, we can get him in duels. He's in the natural defense bucket, and it seems as though you have a higher chance of getting him if you have a deck running a lot of taunts and death rattles and selecting the natural defense buckets whenever offered. In Ranked, we initially set out to complete this achievement with Regis Kilbin's Greedboughs deck, which includes Guess the Weight and Kiri Chosen of Elune alongside the other Eclipse cards, meaning it would be possible to complete all achievements just by playing this deck. And the deck is fun, but it proved really difficult to survive long enough to play Greybough consistently and live long enough to summon a bunch of copies per game. So in the end, we cut a few cards and merged the deck with some of the survival cards from a Spell Druid shell, leading us to this greedy Spellboughs deck that was able to survive into the late game and summon quite a few Greyboughs per game much more frequently. We still ended with a 39% win rate across 36 games, but with about 160 Greyboughs across those games, that means we averaged between 4 to 5 Greyboughs per game. There were several games where we summoned more than 10 Greyboughs, but also several we didn't get to play any. It will take some time, but you'll finish barking up the wrong tree eventually. Next up is Rigged, which also demands that you have a specific card, Guess the Weight. I haven't seen Guess the Weight in a duels bucket, though I don't really play the mode that much, but it is something you can discover off of nature studies on occasion if you don't have a copy. With 10 correct guesses as the only requirement, it's certainly doable without crafting it. However, if you have Guessed the Weight, a deck that uses it pretty effectively is this Eclipsed Clown Druid. It runs enough eclipses to complete the next achievement as well, but you can cut Kiri if you don't have her. It's your typical clown druid deck with lots of ramp and a nice spread of mana costs, so there's a decent chance you can guess correctly if you're using a deck tracker or remember which cards are remaining in your deck. Guess enough times, and you'll see it's all rigged too. The last druid achievement, Sun and Moon to Me, just requires you to cast 6 eclipses, lunar or solar, in a single game. Kiri Chosen of Elune makes this a really simple achievement, but if you don't have her, don't despair. While you can only start with 1 copy of each in duels decks, you can pick up extra copies in the balance buckets. It's also possible to discover additional copies from nature studies, and if you have Educated Elic, it will remember to shuffle copies into your deck for you. However, if you have Kiri Chosen of Elune, this will be a cakewalk to complete. We pulled this off with the deck from Regis Kilbin mentioned earlier, but any deck running both copies of Lunar and Solar Eclipse alongside Kiri will work, including the Eclipsed Clown deck mentioned earlier. Let opponents feel the wrath of the Sun and Moon. And that's a wrap. If you found this helpful, give it a like. It'll help others find this video, since Big Brother is watching. I mean, YouTube notices when people choose to touch a button. Also, check back for guides on the latest couple Darkmoon Faire achievements coming soon, or subscribe, because we make amazing content. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comments. And if watching content live is your thing, check out our stream at twitch.tv SunsetAlchemist. We currently stream on Saturdays and Sundays. And remember, you're awesome. Thank you for watching, and have an awesome day.